You're not on the list." My mother said it like she was correcting a mistake, not creating one. "We held your brother's wedding at a luxury venue where only the elite go," she added, her lips curling into that practiced smile she used in public. "You can't even afford a car. Your name isn't on the list. Poor people aren't allowed." My father stood beside her, nodding slowly, not surprised, not uncomfortable, just agreeing. My brother, Adrian, leaned against the marble pillar behind them, adjusting his cufflinks, smirking. "You really thought you could just show up?" he said. "My name is Elena Voss. I'm 29 years old, and my own family just blocked me from my brother's wedding." I stood at the entrance in a simple black blazer and heels, watching guests walk past me like I didn't exist. No one questioned them, only me. "I received an invitation," I said, calm enough that it almost sounded like I didn't care. Adrian laughed under his breath.
"That was before we upgraded the venue," he said. "This place has standards. Senators are inside," my father added. "We can't have you embarrassing us." Embarrassing. The word sat heavier than it should have. I felt it then, that old, familiar feeling. Not anger. Something colder. Quieter. Final. My phone buzzed in my hand. One message, landing in 2 minutes. I typed back without looking away from them. "Front entrance." My mother scoffed. "What, did you call another cheap ride?" I smiled. "Something like that." And then, the sound cut through everything. Low, heavy, unmistakable. Heads turned, conversations stopped. Because helicopters don't arrive quietly, and suddenly, no one was looking at me anymore. They were looking at the sky. The helicopter touched down just beyond the garden lawn. Wind tore through the perfectly arranged flowers. Dresses lifted, voices broke into confused whispers. For a moment no one moved. Then the door opened. A man in a tailored suit stepped out, steady against the rushing air, and walked straight toward me. Not toward the entrance, not toward the guests, toward me. My mother's grip tightened on her clutch. "What is this?" My father didn't answer. Adrian stopped smiling. The man reached me, unfazed by the silence around us. "Ms. Voss," he said, calm and precise. "We're ready when you are." Complete stillness. I could feel every eye on me now. The same people who had just watched me get turned away were staring differently, waiting, measuring. I glanced at my family. My mother's expression had changed confusion, bleeding into something sharper, fear. Adrian shook his head slightly, like if he denied it, it wouldn't be real. "What the hell is this?" he muttered. I didn't answer him. Instead, I handed my phone to the man. "Give me a minute." "Of course." I turned back to them. Up close now, I could see it clearly. Not one of them had hesitated earlier. Not even for a second. That realization didn't hurt. Not anymore. It just settled something inside me. My father stepped forward. "Sienna, Elena, wait. We need to talk." I held his gaze for a moment, then smiled. "You already did." My mother's voice cracked. "This isn't funny. What is all this?" I stepped back, toward the helicopter. "My ride," I said quietly. Adrian took a step forward. "You're seriously leaving?" I paused, looked at him once more. "For now." And then I turned and walked toward the open door. The door closed behind me with a soft, final click. Silence replaced the chaos instantly. No whispers, no judgment, no one looking at me like I didn't belong, just the low hum of the engine and the steady rhythm of the blades above. "Where to, Ms. Voss?" the pilot asked through the headset. "The estate," I said. We lifted smoothly. Through the window, the venue shrank beneath us. Lights, people, everything that had just happened, reduced to something distant, small. My phone buzzed nonstop. Calls, messages, unknown numbers, Adrian, my father, my mother. I turned the screen off. Not yet. Across from me, the same suited man sat calmly, hands folded. "Everything went as expected?" he asked. I looked back out the window. "Yes." A pause. "Do you want to return later?" he added. That question lingered. Not because I didn't know the answer, but because for a second I remembered what it used to feel like. Wanting to be included, wanting their approval, wanting to matter. I exhaled slowly. I'll decide after I change, I said. He nodded once. We landed 12 minutes later. My estate sat quietly in the hills, glass, steel, and silence. Exactly how I liked it. No noise, no expectations, just control. As the door opened, Marcus was already waiting beside the car. "Welcome home, Ms. Voss." I stepped out. The night air felt different here, cleaner, honest. I paused for a second at the top of the steps, then walked inside, because this was where I actually belonged. Claire was waiting in the foyer when I stepped inside, tablet in hand, expression calm, but her eyes searched mine. "How bad was it?" she asked. I slipped off my heels, setting them aside with more care than necessary. "Predictable," I said. She didn't smile. "They've called the office," she added. "Multiple times." "I'm sure they have." She handed me the tablet. Missed calls, emails, even a message marked urgent. From my father. I didn't open it. "Board meeting in 40 minutes, Claire said. "Do you still want to?" "Yes." No hesitation, she nodded. "Your stylist is upstairs. 3 options." I took the tablet, then paused. "Claire." "Yes?" "Call Richard." Her brows lifted slightly. "The venue owner?" "Yes." "What should I tell him?" I held her gaze for a moment. "Tell him I'll be attending. Through the VIP entrance." A brief silence. Then she nodded. "Understood." Upstairs, the gowns were already laid out. Midnight blue, ivory, black. I chose the blue, simple, sharp, unavoidable. As the stylist worked, I stood in front of the mirror, not adjusting anything, just looking at the version of me they refused to see, the one they never asked about. 7 years. That's how long it had been since I stopped trying to explain myself to them, since I realized being ignored hurt less than being dismissed. Claire appeared at the door. "Car is ready," she said. "And Richard?" "He'll be expecting you." I nodded once, then turned away from the mirror. Because this time I wasn't going back to be accepted. I was going back to be seen. The car stopped at a different entrance. No gravel, no waiting line, no one questioning me. 2 security guards straightened the moment I stepped out. "Ms. Voss, welcome." Just like that. No hesitation, no doubt. Inside, the reception had already begun. Crystal chandeliers hung overhead. A live orchestra filled the room with soft music. Guests moved easily between tables, laughter and polished conversations blending together. The same world I had been denied, opened without resistance. Heads turned as I walked in, not because of my clothes, but because of recognition. Whispers followed me, subtle, careful, different. I didn't slow down, didn't acknowledge any of it. My focus stayed on one place, the head table. I saw them before they saw me. My mother laughing too loudly at something someone said. My father adjusting his tie, scanning the room. Adrian leaning back in his chair, relaxed again, like nothing had happened. For a second, I just stood there, watching them, taking it in. Then I picked up a glass of champagne from a passing tray and started walking, directly toward them. My heels didn't make a sound on the polished floor, but somehow, my presence did. My mother saw me first. Her smile froze. My father followed her gaze. His expression shifted instantly, and Adrian went completely still. "Sienna," he said. I stopped at the table, calm, unmoved. "Hi, Adrian," I said. "Congratulations." Silence fell around us, and this time, they were the ones being watched. Adrian stood up too quickly, his chair scraping against the floor. "How did you get in?" he asked. "I walked," I said. My mother's eyes flicked toward the room, then back to me, calculating. "You shouldn't be here," she said quietly. "Actually," I replied, setting my glass down. "I should." My father stepped closer, lowering his voice. "We need to talk, privately." "About what?" "This situation," he said. "The helicopter, the entrance. You're making a scene." I held his gaze. "No," I said. "You did that. At the door." Adrian exhaled sharply. "Just tell us what's going on." I let the silence stretch, not to punish them, just to make them feel it. "Who are you?" he asked again. softer now. I studied his face for a moment, the same brother who used to laugh the loudest at my ideas, who once told me to be realistic. I reached into my clutch and pulled out my phone, opened one page, turned it toward them. I'm exactly who I've always been. My mother took the phone first. Her fingers trembled slightly as she read. My photo, my name, my title. Her lips parted. This isn't real. My father leaned in, then froze. Veil Technologies? He whispered. That company. Yes. Adrian grabbed the phone next, scrolled, scanned, stopped. His face drained of color. Worth billions? He asked. As of this quarter, I said calmly. The three of them stared at me, not speaking, not moving, and for the first time, they didn't look at me like I was less. They looked at me like they didn't know me at all. For a moment, none of them spoke. The music continued. Glasses clinked. Conversations carried on around us. But at our table, everything had stopped. My mother sank slowly into her chair, still holding my phone. 7 years, she whispered. You've had all this for 7 years? Yes. And you never told us? I met her eyes. You never asked. My father straightened, trying to recover control. That's not fair. It is, I said. Every time I tried to talk about my work, you changed the subject, or laughed, or told me to be realistic. Adrian let out a short, hollow laugh. We thought you were struggling. I know. We felt bad for you. That didn't stop you from turning me away today. He flinched. Before he could answer, a familiar voice cut in. Ms. Voss. I turned. Richard Chen, the venue owner, approached with a wide, effortless smile. Richard, I said. Good to see you. He greeted me warmly, then glanced at my family. Ah, these must be your relatives. I had no idea you'd be attending tonight. Adrian blinked. You know her? Richard looked genuinely surprised. Of course, he said. Ms. Voss is one of our primary investors. Silence, heavy, immediate. My father frowned. Investor? Richard nodded. 20% stake, if I remember correctly. My mother's hand tightened around the phone. You own part of this place? I didn't look away from her. Yes. Adrian's voice dropped. Then the money we paid for this wedding. Part of it came to me, I said calmly, and this time no one laughed. No one spoke for a long second. Not my mother, not my father, not even Adrian. The weight of it settled in slowly. Not just the money, not just the company, everything. My father exhaled first, like the air had been knocked out of him. We didn't know. I nodded once. I know. My mother looked up at me, eyes glassy now, but not from shock, from something else. We would have treated you differently, she said. I held her gaze. That's the problem. Silence again. Adrian ran a hand through his hair, restless now. So, what happens now? He asked. Nothing, I said. What do you mean nothing? I mean, nothing changes for me. I picked up my glass again, but didn't drink. I built my life without you, I continued. I learned how to be okay without being seen, without being heard. My voice stayed calm, but it didn't feel empty anymore. Today just confirmed something I already knew. My father frowned. What is that? That I don't need your approval. My mother flinched slightly. Adrian looked away. I came tonight to see if anything had changed, I said. It hasn't. A pause. Then I stepped back from the table. Enjoy the wedding, I added. My mother reached out. Sienna, please. I didn't stop, didn't turn, because this time I wasn't leaving as someone who didn't belong. I was leaving as someone who finally understood I never needed to.